Yo, how's it going, everyone? Peti Kish here, and today we're gonna go into more of Resident Evil leaks. This is a new one that just came out a few days ago. It's about the Resident Evil Zero remake. So there is new information that has dropped. Again, guys, take this one a grain of salt. This is not official. This is not my Capcom itself, but it's been speculated that there will be more remakes. We already known about this. We weren't sure which ones, but it seems like it's more official that it's going to be Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil Code Veronica, the next upcoming ones. So we're going to read this. It's by MP First. This article is saying, reported, Resident Evil 0 remake in development, new casting and plot details unearthed. So yeah, we're going to get into this topic itself, guys. But before we do that, if you enjoy what I do here, if you could hit that like, sub, follow, share, all the things on here, I'd really appreciate if you could do that. It really does help. I thank you so much. Following the huge success of the Resident Evil remakes, it's no surprise that Capcom continues to work on more projects, remaking classic entries. Among the most requested titles for a current gen treatment are the acclaimed 2000 spin-off focusing on Claire Redfield, Code Veronica, and the GameCube prequel Resident Evil 0. Already, what I've seen wrong about this, Code Veronica is part of the mainline story of Resident Evil. Now, if you're talking about spin-off, that's more like Outbreak. So is Resident Evil 0. Resident Evil 0 is part of the main story. So this is actually not true that it's a spin-off. I just want to put that out there. Unfortunately for fans, the existence of both projects have been repeatedly collaborated by reliable sources, suggesting we will see them in the near future. We can now confirm that Resident Evil 0 Remake is indeed a reality, and we were able to gather some details about the project, including additions to the plot, cast, and information regarding its development. Similar to what has been reported by reputable insiders, we have been told that the Resident Evil 0 remake is a project that has been in development for a few years now. The title has been worked on under a codename Chamber, which works as a clever pun referencing the last name of protagonist Rebecca Chambers, and the voice and performance capture work with new actors for the leads would have begun at same point in 2024. One of the actors joining the new cast is John McClaren, known for playing Star-Lord in the 2021 game adaptation of Guardians of the Galaxy, and for his role in Far Cry 5. We know thanks to a mention on the actor's resume where Project Chamber is listed as one of its projects, and it's noted as a lead role. Additionally, this project is overseen by Beyond Capture Studios, a motion capture company that has previously collaborated with Capcom on games such as Resident Evil 4 Remake and Street Fighter 6. Taking into account that the actor is a lead on the project, it's probably that John McClaren is the actor responsible for playing Billy Cohen, the co-protagonist of the original game, alongside Rebecca Chambers. Yes, I thought that's what this guy would be. This actor, John McClaren, I had a feeling he's gonna play Billy Cohen. Yeah, the only lead characters is Rebecca and Billy. That's it for Resident Evil 0. Now, antagonists, that's going to be interesting because we got James Marcus, as well as, we got William Birkin in there. We got Albert Wesker, but they're just in the background. And then we have all of the STARS members as well that they're going to have probably motion capture for and actors for those too. But they have to really hit the mark with Rebecca and Billy because they're going to be the ones you're going to see the most through the whole game. So that is a given. They have to be really well acted, really good scripted as well, for the story, the plot of it. With these casting details, we can likely rule out any return of the original game's voice actors, even though recasting is a common practice with the Resident Evil remakes. Now, in terms of plot, The remake is expected to expand upon the source material. Although the core story will remain the same, another common characteristic of RE remakes before continuing, we must warn you of minor plot spoilers. The following example details new additions for the remake, which is why we're retaining from sharing other major story beats that would give away too much. So we're going to read a little bit into this, what this story plot, because it's going to be as close to as what we remember from Resident Evil 0, which I doubt that it's going to be as close. Okay, it's going to have the specifics, the main plot lines, the train segment, the second mansion pretty much, and everything else between that. Everything will be probably the same for that. That's a fact. There might be a minor little changes here and there just to have more oomph to it, more detail to it, I would say. But it's mostly going to be the same. Hopefully, it's just a little bit more added content, which what a remake should be. It shouldn't be changing any story plots at all. It should be not reimagining anything at all. It should just be one-to-one. It just has to have better graphics, a better UI system, a gameplay system that feels fun, like anything like that. Just pretty much that's all what a remake should be. But is it going to happen? Probably not, because we saw that with Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 4 Remake. They were close to what the original was, but it still didn't feel the same to what we originally played back in the 90s and the early 2000s. It still didn't feel like that. Even though I don't hate the remakes like a lot of other original fans do, especially with Resident Evil 1 Remake. I think that remake was so good that it could replace the original, but it shouldn't replace it. I'm not saying you should be replaced at all, but it was so good that it could be replaced because that's how good it is, the 1 remake, because it's so faithful to it, as well as it adds more content to it, which is the best remake in my opinion. One of these new storylines would involve a segment of the game set on the train, specifically concerning the train conductor. In the original game, this character is never seen and is only referenced via his office on the train. But in the remake, he will take on a slightly larger role. We can detail that one of the scenes involving this character has him asking Rebecca for help to stop the train's acceleration, only to end up betraying her by locking her in with a bunch of zombies so he can escape. Following this, we wouldn't see him again until reaching a later zone in the game, where Rebecca would find him interrogated with another mysterious unnamed character who appears to have knowledge of the general situation and clearly plays an important part in the plot. Those familiar with the lore may already have an idea of who this mysterious individual could be, but they will also be aware that none of these plot elements were presented in the original game. Therefore, we should expect a more cinematic structure for the storyline. Okay, so they're giving the conductor a bigger role in this aspect, which is okay because it doesn't really change too much of the story. It just adds more to it. So, you read the notes people left in the original Resident Evil 0, and you can clue in pretty much what happened. My guess, he's saying this confrontation with this person, this mysterious figure, it could be James Marcus, Albert Wesker, or William Birkin. One of those people probably were talking to this conductor in some sort of way. They were in what was happening with the train situation. They knew what was going to go on. So the conductor was in on it, kind of deal. That is okay. I think that's a cool little segment they could add. I have no problem with that in general. I don't. Interestingly, despite having all those details, everything indicates that we still have some time until we see the remake. We recent statement from insider Duskullum suggests that we would first see this Code Veronica remake launch, which is currently rumored to be targeting Q1 2027, while the Resident Evil 0 remake aims for a 2028 release. Thankfully, we still have the 9th main installment in the series, Resident Evil Requiem, which is nearing release and aims to be the most ambitious to date. Rumored to bring back the older Leon Kennedy. Yeah, rumored to bring back Leon Kennedy. We've talked that before. Yes, that is possibility. Again, take this all with a grain of salt, but this would make sense. So Resident Evil 9 Requiem comes out next year, and then in 2026, and then we got Code Veronica Remake for 2027, and then we got Resident Evil 0 Remake for 2028. I know that this is going to be coming out. I just know about it. I feel like this is pretty much official. But then again, also, you know, this is a rumor or leak, whatever. Again, guys, whatever you do, check your expectations. That's all I'm saying, okay? What do you guys think overall about this? Do you think this is going to happen? Do you think it's not going to happen? Are you excited for this? Are you not excited for this? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I thank you again for watching this long. And if you didn't like this video, I still thank you so much for watching this long, guys. Hope to see you all again in the next one.